Hey guys, welcome to the line change. In this video, we're going to be talking about Jake DeBrusk, and because recently he did an interview on the 100% Canucks podcast with John Shannon and Landon Ferraro, and he spoke about a variety of different things. He spoke about obviously about last season, some other things. So if you guys haven't checked it out, go ahead and check it out. It was a really good podcast. I watched I'll admit I didn't watch all of it, but I watched quite a bit of it, and it was great to hear Jake talk about, how he prepares for the season and just his mindset and how far along he is in his off-season training. But there's one particular part of it that I wanted to talk about in this video, and he talks about playing with Elias Pettersson and talks about how he has a lot of faith in Elias Pettersson this upcoming season, thinking that he will bounce back. So we're going to dive into that. We're going to dissect it. We're going to go over an article that has that section about Elias Pettersson. But before we do that, I want to give a big shout out and thank you to my sponsor, Gassy Jack Art, maker of that incredible artwork you see behind you, or behind me rather. And you guys can check them out at GassyJackArt.com. You can also find them on Instagram at GassyJackArt. So once again, that is GassyJackArt.com. So let's go ahead and dive into this article. This article, of course, as always, brought to us by our friends at Canucks Army. In particular, it's brought to us by a friend of the podcast, a former guest of the podcast, David Quadrelli. And he goes on to say, from a personal production standpoint, Jake DeBrusk's first season as a Vancouver Canuck went about as well as anyone could have hoped for. After signing a 7-year deal with a $5.5 million AAV, in 2024 free agency, DeBrusk led the Canucks in goals with 28, which, by the way, was a career high for Jake DeBrusk. Despite the flashy point totals, the winger sounds far from satisfied after his first season in Vancouver. During the season, DeBrusk talked about wanting to cause more chaos to make a bigger impact on games, even if he's not scoring. DeBrusk further reflected on his first season in Vancouver during the latest episode of the 100% Canucks podcast with John Shannon and Landon Ferraro. Goes on to quote Jake DeBrusk, quote, "I never really scored the amount of goals in certain ways as I did this year. I think just with Quinn being back there, obviously the way that he plays, I just found that I didn't know where to go on the ice at the start of the season. I was just trying to follow him around a little bit. Then I just started heading towards the front of the net because eventually it would get there. Then you get more deflections and more tips, but it's something that I could definitely work at. I think there was a lot of room for improvement on just the net front side, but I would say more so it was my calling card. I guess I scored some greasy ones, but I was surprised with how many didn't go in off the rush this year, to be honest with you." DeBrusk also talked about regular line mate Elias Pettersson, who's coming off a disappointing season in which he tallied just 45 points in year one of an 8-year deal that will see him earn $11.6 million annually. That's one thing I was most excited about with coming to Vancouver. It was a guy like Quinn, a guy like Petey. You look at that, and as a forward, as a left winger, I look at that as a lot of opportunity. I don't think I did a good enough job for him last year. I don't think when I was playing with him, I gave him my best game either. In fairness, I think we were figuring each other out, and it took some time. But I think that Petey is going to have a good offseason. He's going to come back in good shape, and the skill is there. Like the skill, his hands, his vision, I don't think you can teach some of those things. I have a lot of faith in him. I mean, I signed a 7-year deal to play with them, meaning both Petey and Quinn Hughes. So, I mean, I believe in them more than probably most. Finally, DeBrusk talked about the club re-signing Thatcher Demko and entering the year with a team that on paper should be a solid defensive team. I take a lot of that on my shoulders. I look at that and I go, okay, well, there's a lot of opportunity for me to be even more offensive in that way. We got guys behind us that are proven in this league and are obviously great players. And we got Demmer behind us, or Lanks. He's talking about Kevin Lankinen behind us that can stop other pucks. I played on some pretty defensive-minded teams. He's talking about only one other one, that being obviously the Boston Bruins, as he obviously had Jeremy Swayman and Linus Ullmark during his time there. So I'm pretty much used to this type of style. And I think I've had a career out of it. I think that's obviously there's going to be times where it might be a tight 2-1 game or a 3-2 game. And I take a lot of pride in being that guy to score that goal to tie it or to win it. It's going to take a collective unit, but I think it'll make the unit better. I think that's how I look at it positively is it's not going to be about one guy scoring. We're not going to have that. We're going to need everybody to kind of get all hands on deck, but knowing we have the backbone behind us as an offensive guy is exciting. That's what you want to play for. You don't want to score 4 points a game if you're losing 5-4. Doesn't really matter. We need to get to the playoffs is kind of the point, and defense wins championships. So that is the end of at least that little bit of the interview. So yeah, this is a little bit of a shorter video, but let me know in the comment section down below what you guys think of what Jake DeBrusk said. What do you think what do you think he said about, Quinn Hughes, about Petey? Do you agree with Jake, about Pettersson turning things around? Obviously, I've made it known on this channel that I believe Petey can turn it around. I don't expect him to be a 100-point player, at least not right out of the gate, maybe a year or two. But I would be, obviously, as I've mentioned on this channel, I'd be satisfied with an 80-point season for Petey. On that note, do you guys think Jake DeBrusk can have another career year? Do you think he can eclipse that 28 goal mark? Do you think he can finally hit 30? Do you think he could maybe hit 35, maybe even 40? Let me know in the comment section down below what you guys think. And as always, if you guys like this video, be sure to hit that like button. If you want to stay up to date on all your Vancouver Canucks content, be sure to smash that subscribe button and turn on your notifications so you don't miss a single video. You can find us on social media. On Facebook, just search The Line Change to find our Facebook page. You can find us on Instagram at The Line Change. You can find us on X at Line Change Van. You can find us on TikTok at the TLC Podcast. You can also find us on Blue Sky at The Line Change. And feel free to give us a follow on all of our social media platforms. Now, if you prefer an audio version of this podcast, you can find us on both Spotify and Apple Podcasts. On Spotify, feel free to give us a follow as well as rate and review us. It is, of course, greatly appreciated. But that's going to do it for this video. As always, let's go Canucks, and I'll see you guys in the next video.